Gloria. Today I want to share with you a very delicious green salsa for your enchiladas. Yes, for home enchiladas. Instead of going to the supermarket and buying a can of green enchilada sauce, why not make it at home? Enjoy it with your family. Add the ingredients that you most like. But first things first, my apron is on, my hands are clean, and I am ready to show you my ingredients. Garlic cloves, cumin, black pepper, table salt, tomatillos, 1/4 of a white onion, jalapeños, cilantro, vegetable oil, and water. This is everything we need to make this delicious salsa, especially for the homemade enchiladas. So let's get started. I want to start with my tomatillos and jalapeños. The jalapeños, I'm only taking the little stems off very carefully and making sure that I take the whole stem off. And on the tomatillos, I'm peeling them completely and taking all the skin off of every single one. Well, I'm going to continue removing the skins of the tomatillo. And you know something? I am completely done. And now I am ready to take them to the sink and start rinsing one by one. I'm going to start with the tomatillos and I want to rub them in between my hands, making sure that I take the stickiness out of the tomatillos, every single one. The same thing I'm going to do with the jalapeños. And here I am completely done. And now I am ready to start adding all the tomatillos with this portion down, because this portion is the one that takes a longer time to cook. And the jalapeños, I'm just going to poke them a little bit so that they cook a little faster. Now I'm ready to just add some water. I'm adding around 2 cups of water. And let's take it to the stove and start cooking the tomatillos and the jalapeños. We're gonna cook them until they start turning a little bit yellow, just like that. And I'm just gonna leave them a little more because as you see, the tomatillos are still green. So we wanna make sure that the tomatillos are completely yellow and the jalapeños have changed colors. And now that it's boiling, I'm gonna add the 1/4 of the onion. So it starts cooking with the rest of the ingredients. Now the tomatillos are completely yellow and now is the time to remove them. Okay, now I'm ready to put everything in my blender. Every single tomatillo and jalapeño. I'm going to add everything to my blender, and to this I'm going to go ahead and add half of the liquid I have here in the saucepan. If I need a little more, I will add a little more. And now I'm ready to add the garlic cloves. I'm going to add 4 garlic cloves, but they are small. So I'm going to go ahead and add the 4 garlic cloves. And of course, let's go and let's blend it completely. Once it's nice and blended, that's when we're going to add the cilantro. Now is the time to add the cilantro and blend it one more time. I'm using only half of the bunch of cilantro. It really just takes a couple minutes. Now on the same saucepan, I'm using 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil.
And you want the vegetable oil to get nice and hot before you start adding the green salsa. Once you add the salsa, mix it around and start adding your spices. The salt, the black pepper. I'm going to add here the cumin, and I'm just gonna mix it in. Once it's nice and incorporated, I'm going to go ahead and start adding the chicken bouillon, and I'm gonna go ahead and just pull it apart and add it in little pieces. We're gonna let the sauce boil in very low heat until everything incorporates and it gets even a little more thicker. Just like this. Look at those bubbles. You want to let it cook for at least 8 minutes in very low heat so that the salsa starts getting this beautiful texture and very creamy, just like this. Look how thick. Look how thick it is. When I'm spooning it out, look at this. That's exactly how you want your salsa for your enchiladas. You don't want the salsa too runny. This is the perfect salsa for your enchiladas. I know that once you try these enchiladas, you're going to love them. Okay, let's see what I'm going to use to make just a couple of enchiladas. I have shredded chicken from yesterday left over and some cheese, cream, and tortillas. I have a pan here with hot oil, vegetable oil, and I'm just gonna warm up the tortillas until they are nice and pliable. Flip them around. Once they are really nice and pliable, I already have a plate ready where I'm gonna transfer them, and of course I'll be able to start making my enchiladas. I have this great plate here. I'm gonna go ahead and start adding the tortillas. They're really nice and pliable. Okay, let's go to the working table. Here I have my tortillas and I'm gonna dip them in the green salsa one by one. Of course, I am making these enchiladas with shredded chicken, but you could use queso fresco inside with a little bit of onion. You decide. And here I just put my gloves on to start organizing my chicken enchiladas with a little bit of the cheese on the top. Look at this. It really doesn't take too long. The salsa is nice and hot. So when you add your salsa on the top, everything will melt completely. Look at this. Be generous with your shredded chicken and your cheese. I'm using the mixed Mexican blend of cheeses that will melt very easily. And now my plate is here. Of course, I'm going to add a little more green salsa on the top of these delicious enchiladas. And now I am going to go ahead and add the cheese, and be generous with your cheese. Right after the cheese, I want to add some sour cream. They look amazing. And of course, I am ready for the presentation because really I can't wait to taste them. So I'll see you in a bit.
My friends, I am completely done with this delicious green salsa, especially for your homemade enchiladas. This is the part I really love and enjoy, tasting my recipes. I added to my enchiladas shredded chicken leftovers from yesterday, and I added some cheese on the top, some sour cream. Of course, you could add some lettuce, extra cheese on the top. But let me stop talking and let me enjoy these delicious homemade enchiladas. Excuse me. Mmm. You know something? The flavor of the sauce is so creamy. It's not spicy where you cannot eat it. It has a kick, but it's delicious. I hope you give it a try. Excuse me. Mmm. You know something? When you cook with love, everything comes out delicious. If you like and loved my recipe, I invite you to subscribe, leave me a thumbs up, share my video on social media with your friends, with your relatives, so Cooking with Gloria keeps growing. Don't forget to push that notification bell. And if you did, leave it activated. So every time I make a delicious recipe, yes, you are going to be notified. Before I say I see you soon, I wish you nothing but the best. Peace and love. And of course, I will stay enjoying this delicious green homemade enchiladas. See you on my next delicious recipe. Bye-bye.